Okay, so today on JP, we found out that we got the 31 million downloads campaign. This actually came as somewhat of a surprise because it wasn't really telegraphed by the devs in any way, and we ended up with having maintenance right in the middle of the Gouda 6 rerun. This actually coincided immediately with the end of the 75% off strengthenings for everyone. So the second that expired and we went down for maintenance, ended up coming on the back end of this, the 31 million downloads campaign. So this one caught us a little unawares, but now in retrospect, we actually should have seen it coming a little bit. And the reason why is because usually we go about somewhere in the realm of 3 to 4 months between our download campaigns, usually. What threw us for a loop was the prior download campaign, the 30 million download campaign, actually took about 308 days to appear from the prior download campaign that we had. That is to say, the devs kind of stalled that one out and sat on it for a long time, obviously because it was a big one and they wanted to really celebrate that one, but they definitely kind of got off pace for how they normally are. This one is pretty much in line with the amount of time that we spent waiting for other download campaigns. So a little bit, we maybe should have predicted this happening, but I mean, who can blame us at this point, because we all just kind of assumed that devs were not going to function at the same speed that they had been. But it is a good sign. This does mean that the game has hit its 31 million download marker. It's hit it kind of on schedule, as it is. And in that regard, we're also getting a really nice set of, campaigns and banners from this. This is really, really nice what they've done here. I'm going to walk you guys through it, everything you guys need to know about it. So obviously right off the bat, we are going to be getting a login bonus campaign here. This is actually one of like 3 other login bonus campaigns that are currently active at the time. So it's really interesting to see that they gave us yet another one on JP. I think a lot of this is just kind of to ramp things up, get us prepared for Ordeal Call 4 that's probably happening at the end of April, which, given the actual expiration of this download campaign being on the 30th, that's the same day as the upcoming JP live stream will be. So we can pretty much just go ahead and assume that literally on the 30th will be when we will get Ordeal Call 4. So in that regard, I don't think that sort of thing is that crazy. I think we kind of already know that to this degree. But as we look forward here, we're now also going to see that we get campaign daily missions on top of it. And these are pretty much just par for the course. It's everything that you guys would normally expect from this sort of thing. Just your standard like teapots, gold foes, faux paw prints, and mana prisms. Definitely nice to have these. It's just going to require you guys to actually clear the daily missions that are available. Now, on top of that, and this is probably the big ticket item that you guys are going to see in the 31 million downloads campaign. For story completion, there are now a new permanent set of master missions. So again, a new milestone, if you will, being added to the game for clearing story chapters. This includes everything from part 1 all the way down through the Epic of Remnants and even into Lost Belt and Ordeal Call itself. So literally everything currently released is here, including your 6.5 with Trom and 5.5 with Heian-kyo. So if you complete all of these story chapters, everything up to current, you will get 25 crystallized lores and 25 grails given to you. So some of us were lucky enough on the just login to be able to immediately walk right in and get 25 grails just thrown right to our face. So this is a huge influx of grails all of a sudden. Obviously, we have things like grail casting nowadays that really help out a player's ability to get grails and be able to grail units into the higher levels. But getting a sudden influx like this is not something that happens every day. It is definitely well received in that regard. I know some people are obviously going to have some issues with finding people to grail, but I think the reason they wanted to do something like this, yeah, obviously this helps prepare for things like Ordeal Call 4, but this also probably is to set the stage for the grand system coming in later, since we know that, you know, level 100 and 10 skills are a requirement to make a unit a grand. So them giving you out 25 Grails right there is enough to cover at least 5 of those units, assuming they're SSRs. If not, if it's like an SR, obviously it's going to be a little bit more and stuff. But I think the idea behind this was, hey, we don't have to give you every Grail that you could possibly need, but let's give them a nice influx so that they actually have enough to be able to cover immediate needs for the Grail or the Grand system. So in that regard, I love this change. I think it's great. And this does also kind of set a precedent for as we move forward into the game, as we get Ordeal Call 4 and maybe into a part 3 and stuff like that, we might see even more of these get added. So we'll now start to have milestones for crystallized lores regularly and Grails regularly. So that will actually be an interesting way of handling things. We also got a DaVinci Workshop Mana Prism Exchange update. Same thing with the Rare Prism Exchange update. This is basically just going to sort of double everything that's in the shop that you could possibly want to buy. So if you already bought the monthly allotments from the Mana Prism and Rare Prism shops, you'll now have a second copy that's available for you to purchase again due to the download campaign specifically. So you'll have 2 sets to be able to buy for this specific duration of this download campaign. The only missing item here is apparently we didn't get a crystallized lore refresh in the Rare Prism shop, which kind of makes sense since they just gave you 25 for free potentially. So I think they were like, yeah, hey, we don't have to refresh specifically that one. So in that regard, I'm a-okay with it, and I do think this is nice, but this is also something that they normally do with every download campaign. After that, we actually got even more craft essences added back to the DaVinci Workshop. These are the Recollect essences. These are sort of the devs' way of bringing back old event Cs and things that you might really want to get your hands on but didn't have the means to do so because you weren't playing the game at the time, or you maybe just didn't complete the event somehow. So this is their way of bringing some of those old Cs back, especially the ones that people really want. There are some really nice ones here, particularly Traces of Christmas are again like really nice quick CE here. It's got all attack scaling, it's got quick up, NP gain up, and starting charge. Definitely nice if you have a quick unit that's like maybe right on the cusp of being able to like loop cleanly or get to a certain percentage of refund. This can help shore things up. Maybe you got a node that's got like berserkers in it instead of the actual effective class. This is where something like Traces of Christmas is going to help you out. The other really good one that I highly recommend here is Heavenly Demon Princess. This one is just always been a solid one. It has gotten outclassed a little bit by things like Ocean Flyer, but it's also all attack scaling, NP damage up, critical damage up for arts cards specifically, and 50% starting charge if you have it MLB. The only downside to getting these craft essences is going to be that this will cost you some mana prisms, and as you guys know, mana prisms are kind of tight at this point if you're not somebody that hasn't been around for a long time doing a lot of lottos and stuff like that. With that in mind, NA will have an upcoming lotto here soon, so go check out my lotto guide. But besides that, yeah, I think on JP, obviously we now have a couple of other sources of mana prisms, particularly rolling in the gacha, but same sort of deal. It's like if you're not whaling or something like that, you're not going to expect to get too much out of that. So there's a lot of stuff you can buy with mana prisms now. It's getting increasingly more difficult for how to manage those mana prisms. It is actually why, not to plug myself again, but it is why I put out a Mana Prism shop guide as well for you guys here fairly recently. And so as a result, like, there are some good things here, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend trying to buy every single one of the craft essences. I think it's just usually better to fixate on 1 or 2 of them, get the ones that you actually need for your account, and then you can kind of like rest on some of the others and say, hey, I don't have to grab them. We also got an update to the DaVinci command codes So this is going to be basically command codes that you guys can buy. They're older command codes that have appeared in prior events. There are a lot here. There's a lot of good stuff in this, but it is going to get a little bit costly, both in terms of mana prisms and rare prisms. There are also 5 different ones that you guys actually cannot get a duplicate for, so be very careful about that. But again, it probably just won't even allow you guys if you do try to go pick them up. So again, there's a lot of really good command codes here. I'm going to let you guys kind of choose on some of those. Obviously, I really like certain ones like, for instance, the Gilgamesh AO one, the Merlin one's really strong on the right unit. And same thing with like the Nero Bride one for healing, or the Tamamo one. Each one of them can be really solid, but if you don't already have them, it's a great addition to your account. If you already have them, like we mentioned, you're not going to be able to double it up. That being said, that's not the only thing that they did here with command codes. This is something that I noticed, I don't know why, but fandom just didn't have it in their list of things here. But we actually got an update to the storage capacity for command codes. And it is not an insignificant update. We got 400 extra slots for command code storage. This really helps things out. I know a lot of people will sort of scale their command code storage to kind of the amount that they're, or not scale the storage, but they'll scale how many command codes they're collecting to the amount of the storage that they have. You can do stuff like that, but ultimately, you know, you only need so many of the, like, you know, 1 and 2 star variants. But this will help. This will make it so that you guys can actually put way more command codes on way more characters. And I think that's what the devs were realizing. This is actually something I've criticized in the past, where because the command code storage was so small, and because when you put a command code on a unit, it does not leave your storage, it still takes up space. There were only so many units you could put command codes on anyways. Now, as the game has gone on and we've gotten more and more command codes, obviously we're getting more demand for that, but we're not necessarily having more space. And even then, it would still be nice to occasionally just have like 1-star command codes on a bunch of your units that you feel like you're using frequently. Having 900 spots is really going to help with that. Obviously, you're not going to be able to fill out every single unit in the game with a storage amount like this, but giving us 400 extra slots, almost doubling the amount that we have available to store, is really a sign that I think the devs are beginning to realize, hey, yeah, maybe we should up that, because people actually would like to use these. And one of the biggest kind of issues with it is that there's just not a lot of room in order to be able to store a lot of them, since they take up so much space. So this is a really nice update. It's also just going to be peace of mind for people that, you know, have a ton of command codes. It's just more breathing room for you. So I really do like this. It's a really just small thing, but also a really like nice quality of life in what they've done here. So definitely a good upgrade. And then on top of that, we actually have a couple of other campaigns here from the download campaign that they've given us. This is going to include half-cost Ember Gathering for every single class version, open for all days. So this means that every single iteration of Ember Gathering that you guys can think of, it will be there, and it will be half AP during that time. You're also going to have Servants and Craft Essences getting a 2 times Great and Super Success rate. This is pretty standard for our download campaigns. In this time, we also got a really interesting game update with the My Room gallery that you guys have. So obviously you guys have the ability to, you know, kind of go through and look now to be able to see like all of your old sort of event CGs and things from old events, old story chapters, you name it. And it's really nice that you can kind of go back and view them. This was, ironically enough, something that like us as content creators tried to use all the time, but we actually had to go to like sites like Atlas to grab, because there was no real easy way to go back and get them. Now we actually have an entire menu for that sort of thing. So it'd be really nice. I'd like to see them also sort of allow it to be like a background in the My Room. I feel like that'd be really cool and go a long way. But let me know what you guys think about that update and whether or not you think it'd be a really, really cool thing for them to do. They've also managed to allow another sort of shortcut for you guys to be able to switch from your sort of servant screen, your data screen where you can see their bond and everything like that, straight to their Ascension screen. We already had the capacity to get into the enhancement screen where you could level the character up. Now you have the ability to jump right to the Ascension screen so that you can immediately ascend them to the next thing. So this is not going to be a huge deal, but it will at least help out. It's just another small quality of life, kind of making the menus a little bit easier to navigate so you don't have to go all the way out and then all the way back into everything. So I do like that they've done this. And then last but not least, we will have a banner for Proto Merlin appearing here, aka Lady Avalon, her alongside Gareth Saber. I would have really liked to have seen Gareth Saber get a actual like update with this. Who knows, maybe, you know, we post this video tomorrow and they've managed to do just that. But I would really like to see Gareth Summer get some love because she absolutely could use it. On top of this, the other thing to note is that there is a really nice craft essence alongside this banner, and that's going to be Winds of Spring from the 2023 Valentine's event on JP. But this one's really, really good. It's all attack scaling, it's invuln pierce, arts up of 10% at MLB, and NP damage up of 20% at MLB. So it's a really, really good, like 0% starting charge craft essence that can be useful down the stretch in a fight. So I really think this one's a decent one to pick up for arts units. And, you know, obviously if you wanted to use it on support, you could, but it wouldn't be as ideal for using on someone like Lady Avalon since she doesn't have an offensive NP. So in that regard, not too good for specifically her, but for a lot of other units, this could be a very quality C. So that is the 31 million downloads campaign in a nutshell. It came out of nowhere, it felt like, but I do feel like this was pretty well timed by the devs. Let me know what you guys think about this and what you would like to see them do different if you could change anything with this campaign. Also, let me know who you're going to grail with the new Grails. I'll be curious to hear you guys' thoughts, and I will see you guys for the next one. Thank you all for watching. Later. Hey, if you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe, right?